Welcome everybody to our office hours for Stitchcraft Marketing. I'm Leanne Presley, the CEO and founder, and I'm here today with two of my colleagues, Rebecca and Flossie, and we are going to share with you 2023 craft trends. For those of you that follow us, you know that every year we try to dig deep into the archives, find out what trends are still popular and might be continuing for you for your store, and then also what new trends are on the horizon that you might want to be aware of and or stock inventory for, or create content or educational materials or tutorials on your social channels to just make sure you're kind of in front of some of these trends. So today, Flossie is going to be giving our presentation. We're going to hold off on questions until the end of the presentation so that we can put our educational portion over on our YouTube channel. And I would encourage you, if you haven't seen some of our past office hours, to go to our YouTube channel where you can see all of the past broadcasts. So thanks everybody for coming today. And Flossie, I will hand it off to you.
Thanks, Leanne. So today we're talking about the 7 hot crafting trends in 2023. And we are looking at all of the trends for 2023. We have 7 of them. We've noticed that many of the crafts we've witnessed in previous years continue to trend upward for 2023. Crafters continue to pursue crafts that they learned during the pandemic. We're seeing lots of cross-pollination, and by cross-pollination, we're talking about blending crafts together. So people are adding surface embellishments like beading to knitting, or they're mixing paper crafting with sewing. Embellishments are literally everywhere. Pom-poms, which are technically an embellishment, are also very hot this year. You should expect to see bold prints and really vibrant color schemes and pairings as the year progresses. And finally, or not finally, upcycling holds steady. And finally, candle making has entered the crafting chat. We're seeing lots of different kinds of candles being made by crafters this year. So talking about embellishments, the embellishment trend has been popular for a few years now, and it shows no signs of slowing down. Hashtag embroidered clothing has 17.9 million views on TikTok, and that's up from 5.3 million last year. So you can see how popular it's really become. Beyond embroidery, we're also seeing beading, sequins, buttons, and surface crochet as well. Knitters are also incorporating 3-dimensional stitch work, so bobbles, thick cables, slip stitches, popcorn stitch. And embroidering on paper continues to trend. So you see some examples here. On the left, we have a quilt that's part of Heidi Park's March Vignette Quilts Quilt Along, and the vignette quilt encourages lots of surface embellishments. You can see them in the top right corner of that quilt. And then on the right, we have 2 designs by Pope Vergara. She uses a lot of surface embellishments in her design. You can see sequins in the middle one, and on the one on the right, she's using bobble stitch and beads. Next, we have pom-poms. And this builds on embellishments because pom-poms, as we know, are mostly embellishments. Hashtag pom-pom has 521.2 million views on TikTok and 4.7 million posts on Instagram. Crafters are really loving colorful, patterned, and more intricate pom-pom designs. It's not just your straightforward one-color pom-pom. And they're not just hat toppers. We're seeing them in home decor, as part of furnishings, and as furniture embellishments. You can probably see this TikToker Karen Naru. She crafts pom-poms that exist as their own objects rather than as accessories. She's been experimenting with making giant pom-poms, which obviously require a lot of assistance. You can find her by searching the hashtag Big Pom Pom on TikTok and Instagram, but she's also making hearts, jack-o'-lanterns, strawberries, eyeballs, and other objects. So here you see Simply Spacey. She's adding pom-poms to a vintage chair. Later, when we talk about the upcycling trend, you'll see a lot of furniture popping up in that category and people upcycling their furniture. Technically, a project like this vintage chair falls into 3 of our trend categories: embellishments, pom-pom, and upcycling. And you'll see in Ian made that pom-pom wall art. Our next trend is macroweave, and we've seen macroweave, macrame, and weaving rising in popularity in recent years as well. Macroweave offers a little more flexibility in combining the 2 crafts. It gives greater creativity for people because weaving will add depth to the macrame, and it gives crafters the freedom of incorporating colors and designs they might not otherwise be able to achieve with macrame alone. Wall art is still popular, but we're also seeing it move into home furnishing. So you see the curtain right there on the bottom left and that pillow on the bottom right, and also handbags and jewelry. Hashtag weaving has 446 million views. Hashtag macrame has 1.5 billion views, and hashtag macroweave has 313.2 thousand views on TikTok. The one thing I'll say is the hashtag use for macroweave isn't consistent, so I believe the number of macroweavers is actually higher. Some use macroweaving, and then there are several thousand misspells or less common hashtag uses for macroweave. So here you'll see the mirror on the left, and then on the right, I think we can call this a callback to pom-poms again, this macroweave wall art that looks like it's incorporating some pom-poms. So our next trend is bold prints and color pairings. We're seeing a lot of really striking color motifs on the 2023 runways. You see traditional stripes that are set off kilter and feature unusual color choices. In addition to traditional prints, like stripes, plaids, polka dots, and checkers, we're also seeing a lot of florals, hearts, triangles, diamonds, and other abstract shapes. You'll see some examples here from Pom Pom Quarterly. I'll say this example in the middle from Maurite Mag. Their entire spring-summer 2023 collection was replete with trend cross-pollination. All of the designs are highly textured, embellished, and featured bold color pairings. So our next trend is candle making. I believe that this is tied to the rise of horoscope culture. Crafters are buying lots of candles and setting intentions with candles. We just read in the Etsy's Marketplace Insights report, they cited rituals around wellness as a hot trend this year, and I think this ties into that idea. The designs are focused on identity, minimalist home decor, themed scents, custom mixed fragrances, and as I said, intention setting. Hashtag candle making has 3.3 billion views on TikToks. We see this as a nice opportunity for craft businesses to do branded tie-ins with candle makers. So here you can see some TikTokers making candles. I Am Candle Company all the way on the left, they're making an I Am Abundant candle. So you see they're setting a positive intention with candle burning and mood setting. In the center is Irresistible Wax. They created a retro throwback candle based on Smucker's 1968 design that combined peanut butter and jelly in one jar. And then on the right, we have Whiskey River Soap Company. This was one of their designs marketing towards identity based on being an only child. So here we have the upcycling and vintage upcycling trend. I credit fast fashion exposés, climate change, and tighter budgets for a surge in upcycling new and old clothes. We're seeing a crossover between the upcycling and embellishment trends here. So in the top right, Instagram user raw.makes, she found an old cabled cardigan at an estate sale, and she zhuzhed it up with colorful embroidered accents. Crafters are using buttons, sequins, fabric paint, scrap fabric and yarn, quilting and embroidery to upcycle clothing. And our prediction is that furniture upcycling will start to gain more traction as the year progresses. Hashtag upcycling has 8.6 billion views on TikTok. Here are some more examples of upcycling and vintage upcycling. You see Pickle Clothing has a lot of vintage clothing that they upcycle with embroidery. And then on the right, Lydia Bolton took several different sweaters and cardigans, cut them up and knit them together into a new cardigan. So our next trend is resin. Resin trend is continuing forward from previous years. We've seen in the last 2 or 3 years, resin rising in popularity among crafters. We initially saw lots of jewelry and home decor, but now resin crafting is becoming more intentional. People are creating personalized resin crafts. Memorial and keepsake pieces are taking the focus. Hashtag resin has 19.6 billion views, and hashtag resin crafts has 862.1 million views on TikTok. So here are some examples. Custom Resin for You on the left is creating a baby keepsake with a hospital ID bracelet, birth and ultrasound photos, and even the pregnancy test. In the center is Faith and Flowers Resin. They're creating a keepsake for a loved one who passed using flowers, prayer card, and statues from the memorial. And then on the right, Des Was Here is preserving wedding flowers in resin. So that's it for our crafting trends. And now we're going to open up the floor to any questions we might have.
Thanks, Flossie. That was awesome. As usual, you always do such an amazing job with those. We are going to take some questions. I'll turn off the recording, and that way people can just ask their questions there.